of new initiatives in the Institute of System Science in the National University of Singapore. He is also heading the ISS Center of Excellence for Enterprise Social Business, where he oversees training and research relating to the use of social collaboration technologies and practices. In ISSS, he's additionally involved in training and consulting in enterprise architecture. With more than 20 years of IT management experience in areas ranging from enterprise architecture, portfolio, program management, application, and IT operations, he is here to talk to us about the rise of social and collaboration technologies in business projects and its impacts to project managers. Please put your hands together for Mr. Goh.
Thank you. Okay, afternoon everyone. Before I start, can I just have a show of hands? How many of you are IT project managers for the IT domain? Okay, I think almost, I should have asked the other way around then. How many of you are project managers for non-IT domains, petrochemical, whatever? Okay, about less than a quarter. All right, I need this to roughly know how to pitch some of these things to give illustrations, etc. Okay, a little bit about my organization. I'm from the Institute of System Science. It's part of NUS, but slightly different from the rest of NUS in that we are not academicians. All of us are practitioners from the industry, and our target audience are working professionals. So we do not do any undergraduate degrees. We do master's degree, as well as professional programs, research, and consultancy. Myself, I've been introduced, so I'll skip this. So let's go into social technology. I think when you all looked at the title of this talk, the first thing that probably came to your mind was this, Facebook, right? How many of you have Facebook accounts? Quite a lot, yeah, especially those of you with children and so on. I'm sure you try to make sure your friends of your child to track whatever they are doing. So this is social for individuals, our Facebook accounts, etc. What then is social for business? This is one example. All of you know Lego, right? It's the children's toy with the little colored bricks that you can fit together, create different types of objects. So Lego has this website called Kuso, Lego Kuso, where they use it for crowdsourcing. Let me switch over to the browser to show you the live site. So this is the Kuso live site, and in it, basically what they do is anybody is allowed to propose projects for Lego to create as products. And then all these are done not by Lego itself, but people from public members. Anyone, you and me, we can submit projects. And then the public, again, will be the ones to vote on it. So those who manage to get 10,000 votes would then be reviewed by Lego. And if they find the project to be viable, to be a commercial product, they will then create it as a Lego product you can find in the shops. And the best thing is, whoever was the one who submitted the idea will get 1% of the net sales proceeds. Okay, and there have been projects which have been implemented. Examples include the DeLorean from Back to the Future. Somebody suggested this project. It received more than enough votes, and the happy person is now probably collecting 1% of the sales proceeds. Hopefully, he's on his way to become a millionaire. And there are others. Minecraft. My son is very crazy about Minecraft. It's open source. It itself is another social collaboration project. It's an open source type of game where people can create virtual worlds. And interestingly enough, out of Lego brick type of components within the virtual universe. And they'll create lots of interesting universes and play games within that area. And from the virtual, it somehow went back into the physical. People decided to create Minecraft products for Lego as a proposal, and it also got the 10,000 supporters and is now official product. Okay, so this is one example of social for business. So now, how does it relate to project management? My question to you is, if you were asked to be the project manager of an equivalent crowdsourcing project, such as this, how would you run it as a project? Would you do project management in the conventional way that you would do for any normal IT project? You get the requirements for what is the functionality of this website, what are the things needed to be provided, a place for people to register, a place for people to do uploading, a place for a function for people to vote, etc., etc. Is that how you'll do it? And would that achieve the project success? I think most of us as IT project managers will probably go along that route. We'll ask for requirements, we'll plan the project out, all the different functionality, work breakdown structure, do the development work, do the testing, roll out to production, do the test, confirm that the user acceptance test is done, roll it into production, and that's it. We say we have been successful project managers. We have delivered on schedule, within budget. But the critical question is this: have it delivered business value? What if you have implemented this, but not a single member of the public bothered to submit anything to you? Do you think your boss would give you a big bonus and say, well done, your project is very successful? Probably not, right? So you'll find that in projects that are social in nature for business use, there's a different element to it. This element is this. Key consideration in many of the social for business projects. Anybody knows what is the phrase I'm trying to show with this picture? Anyone? Correct. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So in social for business projects, you find a lot of times it is not something you force people to do. It depends on people being willing to participate in it. And so you end up with this situation that you may create the platform, the IT solution, and perhaps people can come to take a look, but you can't force them to make use of it, right? So that is the issue with social for business. And later on, I will explain how then your project management style or techniques will have to change accordingly. But before that, let's get back again into social business. I only just briefly touched on it. So now let me give you what, there's no fixed industry definition of what is social business, but this is probably one that can work in most circumstances, is the use of social and collaborative technologies and business practices, not for individual use, but for business use, okay, to achieve business objectives. So the technology need not be just those that we associate with social, things like Facebook, Twitter. Yes, they can be part of it. But in addition, it can also be our internal collaboration tools. I think most familiar to most of you is SharePoint. How many of you use SharePoint in your organizations? Okay, quite a lot. Besides SharePoint, there's still a universe of many other tools, with some with unique features not found in SharePoint, so things like IBM Connection, etc. Then, of course, you can have custom-built platforms, such as Kuso for Lego, which was actually custom-built for another purpose by another company, but then Lego sort of made use of it also. And in terms of, and then you can also customize what you want to do on Facebook, etc., to make use of its functionality. So all of these platforms provide APIs for you to do more things. And why would organizations want to do it? Right? McKinsey, which is one of the leading management consultancy companies in the world, did a study and published last year. From the study, the estimate is that organizations can gain 20 to 25% productivity improvement if they implemented social business. And where are the areas can they implement social business? Basically, it's in all parts of the business. This is sort of the value chain, starting from product development, operations, marketing, customer service, etc. So I'll go through one by one the different ways in which social technologies and practices can be used in business. And then after that, we'll show you, with that understanding, then we'll go into the project management of such projects. So first off, we start off with the product development. And I've shown you already Lego's example. This one is from Dell. So any Dell users here? Should be quite a few, I presume. So Dell also has its equivalent of the Kuso. Theirs, they call it Idea Storm. So anybody can submit idea of that can enhance Dell products. So there is, for example, equipping laptops with NFC chips. I think we know that a lot of the newer phones have NFC chips inside that allow it to be used as your credit card, as your smart wallet, etc. So some people are suggesting that the laptops could also be equipped with NFC chips. And similarly, there are votes for it, 27 votes, and there are comments, etc. So that is how social could be used for product development. So basically, in co-creating of products, then the next stage is in terms of operations and distribution. So one aspect of operations is resupply. How do you know when and how much to resupply your retail shops, etc. So there's this food company that produces this snack called the hippo snack in India, Africa, etc. And what they turn to doing is to use Twitter. Right? Twitter is one of those social platforms, which in this case is like a mass SMS. Whatever 140 character message that you send out can be seen by the whole world unless you sort of specifically make it private. So what this company found was that the shopkeepers who are helping to sell their snacks are not very timely in asking for replenishment of their products. So they turn to the consumer instead, the customer, and say, I have opened this Twitter account manned by this hungry hippo, and whoever finds that their favorite shop is out of stock of this snack, just give me a tweet, and we'll come running down and resupply the shop, and on top of that, we'll give you a few free packets for yourself. Okay, so as you can see, it works reasonably well. This site has actually won numerous awards for its innovative use of social technology. So an example is Disha here, said that she liked the Italian pizza flavor snack, and it's not available near her house. So Hippo says, please give your address in DM direct message. So it's a private. You don't release your address to the whole world. And then they'll come running to resupply the shop. So this is one use of social in operations. Another use of social is in work distribution. You have lots of work to do. How can you hand out the work to enough people and relevantly skilled people to carry out the work? So one way is through social outsourcing. Right? There's this site called eLands, meaning freelance e-service. So in this site, all the freelancers register themselves, and those who are interested to provide work to freelancers can also publish their jobs there. And then this platform serves as a matching service. So what it does is it allows also, the social element comes in because similar to like Amazon and so on, you can have the ranking of the freelancer. How good has he been? How do his customers rank him from all the previous jobs, and what were the comments given? Like in this particular case, his previous customer said that he's been told that he was crazy to want the project to be done in such a short timeline, but this particular freelancer was able to do it. Right? So you can look through, see everybody else's comments, etc. Okay, so examples of how you can use social for operations. The next part is the part that probably most of you are familiar with, the use of social for marketing and sales. So this one, I think all of you are quite familiar. In marketing and sales, if you go to Caltex and you like it, this is Caltex Singapore, if you like it, then you'll find within your own Facebook account, on your Facebook page, once in a while there'll be a Caltex posting coming in telling you of their latest offers, promotions, competitions, whatever. Right? So which leads me to the next one. So that is just a use of Facebook in a similar way that we will use it as an individual. We put posts into it, and you'll go to all the people who have liked you and are following you. This one is a more advanced use. In this case, it's using the APIs, the application programming interface that Facebook provides. And with those application programming interfaces, organizations can create custom applications that can tap into your friend's network. So if you open up this application, which I shall show to you. So this is the Caltex webpage. I didn't log in, otherwise to preserve the privacy of my friends' information, because normally at this part here you'll see your list of friends. Okay, so I'm not logged in. And on top you can see the match and win competition. Match and win, which if I click it, you'll come to this application. So to play this game, unfortunately because I'm not logged in, so the game is not loaded. This is just a picture. But the game, the way it works is you guess an amount over here, $100, $800, and then at the back, the computer will generate a random number, and if it matches, yes, you have won that amount in terms of petrol vouchers and stuff like that. But what happens is if you really want to participate in this game and you click the spin now, what will happen is this thing will pop up. And you'll say that you are giving them permission to make, for the Caltex to have access to your public profile, your friends list, your email address, your birthdays, and your photos. All right? So the wonderful from the organization's point of view about this social application programming interfaces is that it allows custom applications to tap into all this wonderful information that you have given to Facebook. And then, and to make use of it as you have agreed. Okay. In this case, for Caltex, by participating in this promotion, the participant irrevocably and unconditionally grants all consent, etc., for his name, likeness, particulars to be used in publicity worldwide without any limitation, etc. Okay. This one is Caltex terms and conditions. Facebook also has a set of terms and conditions which also allows certain aspect of your information to be used for publicity, etc. Okay. So that is how organizations make use of this for marketing purposes. Of course, it can be used in a very positive way. Like the Health Promotion Board in Singapore have an anti-smoking campaign or a quit smoking campaign. People sign up to the Facebook page to say, I quit smoking, and then they will have lots of support from other people who have quit smoking. And as they update their progress, it will be published to their friends, who will then help to lend support in their journey to maintain their no smoking status. So you can use it in positive ways also. And I'm sure all of you have received this thing before. Whoever friends are Candy Crush players, you will receive notifications to say they have reached a new level and stuff like that. So that's what social application programming interfaces can allow you to do. You can publish things that happen to the interaction between your product and the customer to his friends. Okay, so that is one. So I've covered a few aspects of the use of social for marketing, the normal Facebook page, the social APIs, and then on this other aspect would be social market research. Since there's so much conversation in Facebook, in Twitter, and so many other social platforms on different products, you can tap into it. There are tools available that will scan through all the products, and if you say, I want to look at Caltex, or in this case, it's looking at credit cards. I want to look at any mention of credit cards. It can summarize all the data and tell you, okay, when people talk about credit card, the thing that gets mentioned the most is rewards. And they can tell you so much of it, the comments are positive comments, so much are negative comments, etc. So based on this, the marketeers will have a better idea which areas are things that interest their customers. So for a credit card company, they may want to do more reward programs, and this will hopefully attract more people to come and use their credit cards. Okay, then the next part is social commerce. The most basic aspect of social commerce is using the Facebook page to push to you new products and just to add in to say, click here to purchase, and that will bring you somewhere else to the e-commerce site. Okay. A more sophisticated type of social commerce is Amazon itself. Anyone know why I consider Amazon as social commerce? Have you made use of this before? Right? I'm sure all of you will take a look at the reviews before you decide whether this particular book is useful or not. And the reviews, I've seen sites that are knockoffs of Amazon in other parts of the world. The design looks almost like Amazon, and the functionality is almost all there. Unfortunately, the problem is nobody bothers to do any reviews and so on, so it fails totally. Right? Whereas Amazon, you are normally quite assured there will be quite a few reviews, and you can go through to have a better idea whether a book is worth buying or not. And then more importantly to Amazon, not only does it help you decide to buy one book, it tries to persuade you to buy other books as well by telling you not only did people buy this book, they also bought these other books in addition. Okay, so a big wonderful world of social marketing and sales. Next is customer service. This is Nike Plus. I think IT professionals are usually too busy, or project managers are usually too busy to exercise. How many of you use Nike Plus and know what it is? Oh, okay, not bad. Quite a few. Wonderful. I have some bad news for all you Nike Plus users. But before that, just to let other people know, Nike Plus is an application or set of applications and products related to storing, capturing, tracking your exercise habits and putting it up on a public place, and you can then share with friends, etc., and help mutual support and so on. So as you can see, you can track how much you have run, where you have run, and so on. Right? Wow, 1,000 kilometers. So in a normal IT service, you would have a call center where you call up a number and say, oh, the service, I have some problem with the service and so on. What Nike does is it has a Twitter site. And in the Twitter site, this is where I have bad news for you Nike Plus users. This was announced just a few hours ago. Please hold off syncing while we bring back Nike Plus back online. It's down at the moment since 3 hours ago. And this is the website. They claim it's scheduled maintenance, but from the Twitter site, you know it's not non-scheduled maintenance. Okay? But you can see the advantage of this. Having it on Twitter, where the runner, imagine the runner has his iPhone or whatever strapped to his arm, about to run, then sees, oops, the thing doesn't seem to be working or what. Then he can take it out, go to Twitter, take a quick look, okay, it's down. So never mind, I'll just do it offline in an offline mode, etc. I don't need to call the help desk, end up with a long music waiting time to get through the operator and things like that. Okay, so Twitter is quite useful for service. Even better still is this other example, which is from a company that provides income tax return software for the United States. In the United States, the procedure to calculate and submit your income tax is very complicated. So because of that, they have tax consultants, they have software to help you, and on top of that, even if you have the software, you still have many queries that you are not sure, you don't have the answer to. So what TurboTax did was create a forum where people can post questions and get answers, not just from TurboTax employees themselves, but from other fellow users. And it's quite interesting. There are people who are willing to help others. So I just put a query which is most relevant to Singapore. Those who work in Singapore but are US citizens and are required to do the US returns, income tax returns. So this person has a wife working in Singapore, and then he posts details of the query, and somebody, Bind22 super user. Okay, so as you can see, he's the person, the friendly fellow customer who is helping out is this person called Bind22. He's a super user. He has answered quite a lot of other queries before. And so he gave some advice of what to do if you're working in Singapore and have to submit US income tax returns. Okay, so social customer service can really improve your productivity. What's better than having to get your staff to answer all the customers' queries is getting the customers to answer each other's queries. So this is one great way of increasing your productivity. Next part is the internal use of social. Right? So social, so far, most of what we have seen is its usage with your customers, with your partners, suppliers, and so on. Now we move on to social use inside your organization. And the latest version of SharePoint 2013 has this type of feature, which looks like Facebook. This one is from IBM Connection. So it's quite common now among all these internal collaboration tools to have similar to a Facebook page where you can follow or like. They would never use the word like for internal collaboration tools. I don't think you say you like your fellow colleague or you like this project, okay? You just follow the project and follow the colleague to know what is happening to your those different projects and what is happening to your the different colleagues, okay? Only in Facebook you put like, but then sometimes you click it even if you hate the person because you just want to follow what that person is doing, all right? Okay, this one, let me show you live. It's easier. Since most of you are already familiar with SharePoint, let me show you something that is outside of what SharePoint has. This, again, is the IBM tool. It has this feature called activities. So with activities, what happens is you can plan out. In this case, the activity is to publish a F1 newsletter. We just had the F1. So imagine you are a small publishing firm creating a small newsletter on F1. So you have 4 major phases that you have in this activity: plan the newsletter, gather material, write the articles, then publish it. So in plan newsletter, you can create tasks. I'm Charles. I can allocate to Bob, get a budget, allocate to Alice, talk to customer, allocate to Bob again, plan list of articles to be in the newsletter. And the wonderful thing is Bob in turn can sub-delegate to Dave and Alice. Dave to do articles, to plan the articles on personalities, Alice to plan the articles on the organization of the F1 race. And you can see the whole trail of the tasks that are delegated out, and after that, the sub-delegation of those tasks. And as the tasks are completed, you can, of course, strike them off, okay? But there's more than that, all right? The other wonderful thing about this is that the tasks can also include comments, etc. Okay, looks like I have to come back to this web page. It is trying to recover. Okay, let me go back to the slide and go from there. Okay, so I've shown you that you can have the tasks in there. In addition, you can also have discussions. So if you have a task to gather materials on F1, somebody can say, oh, they are not sure of certain terms like the formation lab drive, etc., then another person, Dave, can reply, okay, I have this information, I can help you with it. And you can also attach documents, in this case, Word documents of the write-up of the different F1 players, F1 drivers. And you can also link and display photos and things like that. So you can imagine if your whole project, all the relevant tasks, the discussions, the files, everything is kept in one central place. So you can keep track of everything very well. The other aspect is that once this project is finished, it can be generated as a template, which then can be applied to generate new projects as and when needed. Right? So these are some ways in which social can be used as part of your internal work collaboration process. Okay, finally, the last use of social will be in matching talent to the task. So in SharePoint and all the internal collaboration tools, there's usually this function called profiles, where you put in your photo, write up your CV inside, and that is very useful because if anybody wants to find people with certain type of skills, all they need is to do a search, like in this case is searching for marketing people, and the list of the marketing people available within the organization will then be listed. Then the earlier example was internal within an organization. What about external? If your HR wants to target certain people with offers, job offers, and so on, how can they go about doing it? How many of you are LinkedIn users? Okay, quite substantial number. Any of you receive headhunting offers before? Offers from headhunters? Okay, I hope your bosses are not in the room at the same time. Okay, so this is how the headhunters found you, right? LinkedIn provides a service for them where they can be very precise as to who they want to target, which country, even which specific companies they want to snatch talent from, which industry, big or small company, the job function, your seniority, etc., and perhaps which LinkedIn groups that you normally join, right? So probably project management, etc. So this is the way that HR departments can use social to search for external talent. Okay, so now that you have known the various different ways of using social for business, we come to the part on how then do you manage such types of social business projects. Okay, one way to start this is to first take a look, what is the difference between social business projects and conventional projects. So for a conventional project, you'll find that you are normally, especially if it's an IT project, you're normally doing automation of a transactional process. And in transactional processes, the participants are quite fixed. You have the customer, sales, contracts, legal, fulfillment, and the participants are obliged to do their respective tasks that they are paid to do. So sales is supposed to do certain things, contracts is supposed to do certain things. The process is fixed, is repeatable, and is very well defined. Right? You probably even have ISO 9000 standards and procedures documented and audited. So it's very clear for the specific individual who does what. And so for you as a project manager, especially an IT project manager, once you create the IT function to do certain of these tasks, and you have implemented it into production and removed the old system, is it sort of certain that the staff have no choice but to use the system that you have implemented? Right? There's not much other choice for them. Right? They may make a lot of noise, a lot of complaints, but they will use the system. The situation is very different for a social business project. As you have seen from all the various examples, most of the social business projects are not transactional processes. They are social and collaborative processes. The participants are not obliged, most of the time the participants are not obliged to take part. Like the Lego Cuso, you are not obliged as a member of the public to have to post a project inside there. So in a sense, it's sort of voluntarism. And then there's also not, usually there's not a fixed, well-defined process, okay, to say, oh, you are the one who will put in the project submission, you must be the one to review and give a vote, you must be the one to do a comment. It's not fixed. And also, it's not clear as to which specific person do what. And the worst thing is, even if you create a function for it, there's no guarantee that people will use it. Right? So earlier, there was talk on agile methodology. In agile methodology, you at least have a product manager who is supposed to guarantee to the development team, as long as you do these things, I will guarantee that there's some usage for it. But in this case, there's no guarantee. So how then do you project manage a social business project? At a high level, these are the key things. First is because you cannot just simply run out and gather requirements. Gather requirements from who? Gather requirements from all the kids playing Lego or the teenagers, right? You can't guarantee that is really the requirement they will, that if you implement, they will really use. So most of the time in social business projects, you listen first to the conversations, and then you analyze what they are saying to decide what may be things that they will like, they will make use of. Right? Then this one is quite logical. We will probably use Agile Implementation. You do iterative implementation cycles. You don't develop everything and then do it and then release as a big bang 2 years from now. Right? You probably do it in weekly cycles and so on. And then this is the part that is quite unique. You probably need to do lots of experiments. You are not certain what will work from the beginning. You will try A and B. And the wonderful thing about things on the internet is you can measure, because you can see how many people respond, they like, they don't like, they participate, they don't participate. And from those measurements, you can tell which things work, which things don't work. Then after that, I'll come back to this part later. You have to manage the online community and content, and not just the platform or the technology itself. So let's come back to listen and analyze. So it'll be similar to this. Make use of the tools, analyze what's the conversation, what do they like, what they don't like. Then the agile implementation, short cycles, sometimes even less than a week, you try out something, and then after that you go to the next cycle. And then this is where we talk about experimentation. Okay, this was the original design of one of the websites. This was a subsequent design. Which do you think performed better, and how much better do you think it performed? How many says the original design is better? Raise your hands. Okay. How many says the new design is better? Okay, substantially more, right? Oops. It's correct. The new design is better, and surprisingly, 100% better. I think they have done this sort of test quite often, and most of the time, people are attracted to other people rather than to inanimate objects or text. Okay, so once you have a person on your screen, you tend to pay attention more or tend to try and interact more with it. So these are experiments that are done. It's quite easy. On the internet, you can make it such that on certain days you use one design, on certain days you use another design, and you collect the statistics, which works better. Then finally you make a decision, I'll go with this. Then for social business, coming up with the platform like the Lego Kuso platform is just the beginning. It's just a platform to help you put in the content. But what is more important for your project success is the content and the community. So how to get the content and community? One aspect is this. Which do you think? This is from Magnum. They have a nice photo of the Magnum ice cream. And they say, time for midday Magnum ice cream. Looks very delicious now. But imagine if they keep posting you this thing every day in, day out. You'll soon get very tired of it, I'm very sure, right? So that's why you find Skittles, those little multicolored candy. What they do is very interesting. Once in a while, they post things like "Parrots think every day is Talk Like a Pirate Day." My question is, has that anything to do with Skittle? Not at all, right? So you'll find, if you go to Skittle, if you like Skittle, you'll find they're posting every day to you are very interesting, humorous, funny, but you don't tire of it. So the lesson to be learned is you may not want to do, or you may not be able to do hard sell all the time. You probably will chase your customer away. So you probably have to vary the content. Right? Then the timing and frequency is also important. No point posting at 5 a.m. in the morning. Probably nobody is awake at that time, or very few people are awake at that time to see what you have posted. Right? So probably based on this, when do you think is the best time for the organization to catch people on the Twitter stream? Lunch break. This one is afternoon tea break. I think probably by that time you're very sick of work, so you goof off a bit on your internet, check your Facebook, check Twitter, and whatever other things, right? Okay, so you have to, so these are some of the ways to manage the content, manage the community. You have to start the ball rolling sometimes. You start off with an empty platform. You need to put something in. Initially, you may have to be the one to put things in before your customers respond. Then over time, hopefully there are enough customers responding that they can maintain a critical mass and continue all the discussions and the flow. So one way to start the ball rolling would be like contests. So in this case, Scoot has a very interesting contest. Just looking at the Sydney photo, try to guess what time of the day it is. So of course, it cannot be night time. But then depending on whether this is summer, the daytime could stretch all the way to 9 p.m. even. So you make a guess, okay? Right, then incentives for the people. Why will people want to contribute? Sometimes it's because there's some recognition of their contribution. So this comes from a social group in Singapore. I will flash their status, and you would let me know whether you can guess which social group in Singapore this comes from. Tianzu is a counselor. Vanilla cake is a black belt. Sashimi is a blue belt. Oops, sorry. And Math Sparks is a Kiasu Grandmaster. Okay, which I see some ladies smiling. Anybody know where is this? Which site is this? Correct, Kiasu Parents. Yes, very correct. So PSLE just over. So probably this site is very fresh in a lot of people's mind. This one, yes, kiasuparents.com. So PSLE English. So the counselor, the black belt, the blue belt, and the Kiasu Grandmaster. Okay. So some recognition for their contribution to this social space. The Kiasu Grandmaster, by the way, has posted 2,000 over replies to people's queries. Imagine how many parents have been helped by this person. Okay, so there are incentives. This type of incentives are more for external users of your social business project. Your internal employees, you can use more direct methods. A lot of times, organizations forget that they are internal employees. You can force them to use in certain ways, or you can motivate them more to use in certain ways. One of the most simplest is to put it as part of their job specification, include it as part of their KPI for their increment, promotion, and so on, and usually that would help. And then those who are recognized as domain experts and so on, perhaps it becomes part of their job that they are there to help others in the organization. Okay, so the last part is to round out is how you can use all these things for your own project management, even if it is not a social project. It could be a normal conventional project, but you can also use these techniques with it, to help you in project management. The first way is through project team selection. I'm sure in LinkedIn you have your skills and expertise, and your friends and colleagues have sort of endorsed to say you have, I'm sure all of you have been endorsed as having project management skills. Am I correct? Right. So similar feature is available in most of your internal collaboration tools. You can list out what are the skills that you have, and your colleagues can endorse and say, yes, you have those skills. And then you, as a project manager, the next time you're hunting for project team members, could make use of this project, the internal collaboration tool, to hunt for your ideal project team members. But of course, other project managers may also be doing the same. Then you may have a bidding war on. Okay. The other aspect would be, of course, file document sharing. This you probably have done through SharePoint or other platforms. So on some platforms, you can say put in a PDF file, employee compensation guidelines and policies, and to attach with the file can be all the comments discussing about the file. Then there's this thing, people seldom know that such a functionality exists in most of the internal collaboration tools. You can actually put documents in and then allow multiple people to be editing it at the same time. Especially if, for project managers, if you're involved in the pre-sales process of having to come up with a tender proposal, and you have multiple people trying to go into the same Word documents to do different sections, this is a wonderful tool. It is also available for spreadsheets. Here you can see Janice is updating this portion. Angela is concurrently updating the other portion. Then this one I've shown you earlier, IBM connections, the ability to combine tasks, comments, files, photos, everything into one nice little package. And on top of that, you can make it reusable. Okay, so basically with that, you can have collaborative planning, execution, monitoring, and then subsequently knowledge sharing. And of course, the Facebook style following. So in summary, the social business is using the social technologies and practices, and why we want to do it is because of the great productivity increase that can be achieved. The examples is basically through the whole life cycle value chain of an organization. So how to project manage this type of social business projects? You can't run it in a normal way like a normal IT project. You have to listen and analyze, because you can't just go out and straight away get requirements. And then because there are no firm requirements, it has to be agile, it has to be experimental. You try different things, and because it's all on the net, it is measurable. So you try, you measure, then you go into the next cycle. And finally, it is not about the product. It's not about your solution. It's after your solution is only part of your project. The solution, after the solution is then the content and the community, and you have to manage all of this in order that your project is successful. However, some of you may say, I'm just the IT project manager. So as long as the IT platform goes out, is on budget, on schedule, I'm successful. It may be true to some extent, but I pose you this question. When it comes to the annual appraisal time, and you have two project managers, both of whom their projects were sort of successful in the sense of on time, on budget, who do you think will get more bonus? The project that benefits the business more and brings in more revenue or more cost savings, or the project which, yes, is there on time, on schedule, but nobody is using it? I think you're all very clear on the answer. It is always best to be on the winning team. And if you can help the team to be the winning team, I think that's the very critical thing to do. So how to use social within your own project management itself? You can use it for project team selection, for sharing of documents or concurrent editing, the collaborative planning, execution, monitoring, and knowledge sharing. And then, of course, the activity stream to follow people, follow projects, and so on. So with that, I have finished, and it's time now for any questions that y'all have. I still have 6 minutes. Yes.
All right, thank you. It's very, very interesting. Just one quick question.
Yeah.
You mentioned the IBM connections.
Yes.
Presumably that runs on your server.
They have a cloud version also, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask, are there cloud-based solutions that maybe, because my company is very small, we don't have a server.
Yeah.
are there solutions we could subscribe to online that would have some kind of security that would allow the same kind of functions?
Almost all the internal collaboration tools nowadays have a cloud service available and monthly subscription models and so on, which makes things much cheaper. So most of them are in the tens of dollars per user per month.
That's my kind of budget.
But of course, once you're on them, it's hard to then move out, because once you have invested to put in so much data, etc. Yeah. So it's a buyer's world now. You just hunt around. There are plenty of cloud services available.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Any other questions? Well, thank you, Mr. Goh. I would like to invite Roland, one of our board members, to give you a little token of our appreciation. It's coming up.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.